Okay, hello, how are you? I hope you are well. We are going to continue with Macbeth. Yes, we are approaching or walking towards the ending. Yes, we are right in the middle of the play, the climax, the banquet scene has just finished. And after that scene, we are going to skip several scenes because otherwise we wouldn't be able to finish with the story. In Act 3, scene 5, there is a meeting between the witches and Hecate. Hecate, this is Act 3, scene 5. Hecate is the goddess of witchcraft, and she tells off the witches because of what they did, because she believes that they are to blame for the mess that is happening at the moment in Scotland. So what Hecate demands is that they fix this situation. And in order for the witches to fix this situation, they are going to meet with Macbeth one more time. Yes. Act 3, scene 6, we have the words of a thane, yes, of a lord. His name is Lennox, and he's reflecting upon the situation that they are living. And this is the first time in which Macbeth is referred to as a tyrant. This is line 22. His presence at the tyrant's feast. Yes, so everyone has figured Macbeth out, and they realize that he is a tyrant. Yes, one of the things that this man says, this is line 3, he says, things have been strangely born. So things did not happen naturally. There is something weird in all of this. So this gives us the idea that people started having suspicions and second thoughts about the role of Macbeth in the monarchy, and they were questioning him. Yes, although they would try not to mention his name. I want to show you how this character speaks to another person on stage that happens to be the same actor that performs Banquo, but this is not Banquo. Remember that in Shakespeare's times, people, the theater companies didn't have money to pay for several actors, so maybe the same actor would perform different roles. And even today, the Globe Theatre tries to keep that. They try to do everything as Shakespeare did it. Yes, and that's why he appears again, but this is not Banquo. This is a regular lord, and Lennox is speaking to him. Let us see how he reacts, how they react when they hear the name or when they say the name Macbeth.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret further. Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth, marry he was dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, if't please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth.
Okay, up to there. Let us go back to that last line that he says, which is line it's line 11. Yes, if we read as from line 10, to kill her gracious father, because here he's questioning, yes, Malcolm and Donalbain. How come Malcolm and Donalbain, remember the sons of King Duncan, how come that they killed their father if they were going to be the kings? Yes, damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth. And here we see the use of irony. Remember that irony is when you say something and you mean the opposite. How it did grieve Macbeth, how this made him sad, but he means the opposite. How happy was Macbeth that they killed King Duncan. Yes, notice the difference between irony and equivocation. It is a very important difference, and this is something I may ask you about. Yes, irony is when you say something and the other person understands the opposite because you mean the opposite. Yes, so you share the code with the listener, with the hearer. Whereas in equivocation, there is a double speak, there is a double meaning, and you don't share the code with the person that is listening to you because you are trying to deceive them. And there is a double meaning that the other person does not get yet. Okay? So now let us go to the meeting with the witches. Before going to the meeting with the witches, there are two things that are mentioned here that are important. One is the name Macduff. And as from now, the name Macduff is very important. Yes, they mention that Macduff is this important lord that went to look for Malcolm. Malcolm is the rightful king, the person that should be at the throne after his father. So he went to England. So Macduff went to look for Malcolm, and it is believed that maybe Macduff can save Scotland from the tyranny of Macbeth. Yes, so his name is Macduff. Wait a second, how do you stop? There we go. And so let us go to the meeting with the witches. Yes, the meeting with the witches takes place in Act 4. Remember that we continue with we were at the climax in the banquet scene, and now we're going down. This is the downfall of the tragic hero. And we are going to analyze Act 4, Scene 1, which is the meeting of the witches with Macbeth. Yes, let us see how it begins. We're going to listen to it only, okay? Let me find the right spot. Okay, here we go. This is Act 4, Scene 1. We listen to it, okay?
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed. Thrice and once the hedge pig whined. Harp your cries, 'tis time. 'Tis time. Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad, that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wood of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm sting, lizard's leg and howlet swing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Scale of much is money, moor and gulf, other haven't a salt sea shark, writ of hemlock, digged in the dark.
Okay, we are going to stop here and we are going to analyze us from here. Give me a second. So we continue, we go back to the words so that we can analyze them. The first witch says, thrice the brindle cat hath mewed. Thrice, 3 times the cat, yes, streaked with color, yes, with lines with color, mewed, made the sound that cats make, yes, 3 times. This is important because number 3, it's a magical number. Thrice and once the hedge pig whined. Notice that now they say thrice and once. Why is it that they don't say 4? Because witches don't speak in even numbers. They only speak using odd numbers. Hablan usando números impares. Okay, so 3 and once instead of saying 4. Yeah, so they make reference to the amount of times different animals make noises. Remember that the noises that animals made in Elizabethan times, some of the noises that animals made were associated with witchcraft, okay? And then if we go to line 4, you will notice, in fact, if you look at the whole page, you can see that the wording is structured, the paragraphs are structured in a different way than if you go to a previous page, for example. Why is this? Because this is written in trochaic foot. Remember that trochaic foot was a stressed syllable followed by an unstressed syllable. And this is used for characters that represent the unnatural or the supernatural. Yes? And it is the opposite of iambic pentameter. Yes? So here we have this very famous quote, round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails show. Sorry. So the idea is that they use this rhythm that sounds natural. Imagine the Elizabethan society while watching this representation of witches doing an incantation, because the idea is that they have a cauldron in the middle and now they would start throwing different things into it. Yes? Round about the cauldron go, in the poison entries throw. And then they mention different names of animals that they throw into the cauldron. Toad, a toad, it's un escuerzo, yes. And they describe how they found it dead and everything. And line 10, they all together say, double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn, and cauldron bubble. And this is important again, more than anything, because of the reaction of the Elizabethan audience. Remember that at that time, people believed in witchcraft. So they would be scared to death to be watching this being done on stage. Yes. The second witch is pouring other ingredients into the cauldron. Fillet of a penny snake. So a slice of a slimy snake. Yes. In the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt. A newt is a type of lizard. Yes. And toe of frog. Wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork. Adder is a kind of snake. So the snake, the fang of a snake. And blind worm's sting. Lizard's leg and howlet's wing. Howlet is an owl, a baby owl. Yes, howlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble. Double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. And the third witch starts throwing other elements that are not just animals. Some of them are animals connected with mythology, and some other elements are human organs. Yes, wow, no? And it is interesting to analyze this because this throws light onto how the Elizabethan society saw other human beings. Listen to this. Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, moo and gulf. Witch's mummy is the mummified corpse of a witch. Moo and gulf is the stomach and the throat. Horrible. Yes. And then if you go to line 26, it says liver of blaspheming Jew. Yes. So, el hígado de un judío blasfemo. Yes. Jewish people and foreigners in England, in the Elizabethan England, they were not welcome. They were not treated well. In every time that there was a famine or that there was a plague, foreigners were blamed for this situation. And Jewish people had a certain reputation, and people didn't like them. So this is why we see that Shakespeare may have included this here. Yes, that it may be the idea that witches would use parts of the body of these people to do their incantations. Yes. Um, of course, we need to look at this with the eyes of the context of production of the Elizabethan society. Yes, 400 years ago. Gall of goat and sleep of ewe, well, other elements, and then look line 29. Nose of Turk and Tartar lips, yes, again, more parts of the body of people who belong to different nationalities. Yes, they continue with the spell, yes, and then if we go towards line 44, one of the witches says, by the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks whoever knocks. Okay, so by the pricking of my thumbs. So apparently she has a tickling sense feeling in her fingers. So you know when you have that como tienes como un cosquilleo. Yes. So by the prickling of my thumbs, so she realizes that she has this odd sensation, this odd feeling, and she says something wicked this way comes. So something must be approaching because I have a feeling. And this is one of the most quoted quotes in Shakespeare. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. And who is coming? Macbeth. And we will listen to their encounter. Now, before we listen to their meeting, let me briefly summarize what happens. Yes, Macbeth talks to the witches in a way that is very commanding, very bossy. Remember that Macbeth is in this quest uh, guided or even blinded by ambition, and he feels that he's more powerful than anyone, even than the witches and the devil and anything. So he is very bossy. He starts demanding information because why is it that Macbeth is meeting with the witches? Because he wants to know more about his future. Yes, he wants to know more. Wants to know what happens so that he knows what he has to do in order to be safe. Yes, but the witches will use this situation to trick him. And this is one of the most, if not the most important instance of equivocation, the most important instance of the use of equivocation in this play. Why? Because the witches will speak with double meanings. They will say something, they will mean something different, and Macbeth will not realize because they will deceive him. They will make him believe that he's confident, that he can be confident, that nothing will happen to him, but it is all a lie. Yes. In order to give him different information, they will do an incantation, and four apparitions will appear, will show up. They will come out from the cauldron, and each of these apparitions is a prediction for the future, a prophecy for Macbeth. Yes. So let us listen to this. This is line 47. Right when Macbeth enters, how now use secret black and midnight hacks. You will see that we start a little bit before, but we will start analyzing. We are going to listen to it as from a little bit before, but we are going to start analyzing it as from here. So we listen and then we analyze.
Liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat.
Wait a second.
Cool it with a baboon.
And midnight hags.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open logs, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags, what is't you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, however you come to know it, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak, demand, we'll answer. Say if thou'dst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him, let me see him.
Pour in.
Sorry, we continue. We go back to the beginning of these lines that we just listened to. How now, you secret black and midnight hags. Yeah, so he greets them in a very unpolite way. What is it that you do? And all the witches replies, a deed without a name. Yes, and this word deed echoes from previous scenes from Macbeth. Remember when Macbeth was about to kill Duncan, and he would say that he and Lady Macbeth will refer to the assassination as to using the word deed, yes, because they didn't want to say that they were going to kill the king. Yes, so they are doing something that cannot be uttered, a deed without a name. Yes, and then Macbeth, of course, demands them to appear, and demands them to not to appear, sorry, to provide him with information about the future. Yes, and the witches reply. Yes, this is line 58. They say, "Speak, demand, will answer." Yes, say if it is thou rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters. So do you want to hear it from us or from the demons or the devil? Yes, because the witches work for the demons and the devil. And Macbeth says, "Call them, let me see them." Yes, so he wants to see them. So they do again another incantation. Yes, notice that in the stage directions we have thunder. This is very important because thunder in this case functions as a pathetic fallacy. What is pathetic fallacy? Pathetic fallacy is when the weather reflects the feelings of one or all of the characters on stage. Yes, and we see the first apparition. Yes, so let us listen to this first apparition. So let us listen to what they say, and then we will continue.
In sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 furrow. Grease that sweating from the murderer's gibbet, throw into the flame. thought. Hear his speech, but say thou naught. Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware, Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me, enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Okay, up to here, we are going to start writing down some ideas because this is very important. So the witches are showing him 4 apparitions. Yes, this is the first one. The first apparition. Yes, first. Okay. First apparition is an armed head, the head of a person that emerges from the cauldron. At least that is what appears here written in the play. Then in the performance, it's a little bit different. So there is a head wearing a helmet, yes. It's an armed head, yes. And this head speaks, it says something, and it says Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Again, using the name 3 times, because number 3 is a magical number. And the warning, the first prophecy gives is beware Macduff. Yes, so this is a warning. Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife, dismiss me, enough. And it disappears again. Yes, and when Macbeth sees this, he says, okay, but I want, thank you, because I know that Macduff represents a threat to me, but I need to know more. So the witches tell him, do not speak to them, because the apparitions cannot speak to you, and you cannot command them to do something for you. Okay? There you go. Okay. We continue listening. There is thunder again, and now we will see the second apparition. Okay? Okay. So this is the second apparition. The second apparition is a baby. It's a baby. And what is the warning or the information that this prophecy gives? It says, be bloody, bold, and resolute. So be courageous, courageous. Laugh to scorn the power of man. So laugh at the power of man. So you have nothing to be afraid of. You can be confident. Yes, be confident, be courageous. Yes. For none, why can he be courageous and wait, there is a spelling mistake. There you go. Why can he be confident and courageous? And here it says why. This is line 79. For none of woman born shall harm Macbeth. So no one that was born from a woman can hurt you. And this is very interesting because if we come to think of it, who wasn't born from a woman? Yes. So remember also that the witches are using equivocation. Yes, they are speaking in a double meaning. There is a second meaning to this that no one knows yet, but we will get to know it. What they want is Macbeth to feel confident that nothing will happen to him. Yes? So no one that was born from a woman can hurt you. Yes? This is the second apparition. Now we're going to listen to the third apparition, okay? Here we go.
What is this? That rises like the issue of a king and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty.
Listen, but speak not to it. Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Burnham Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be! Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root. Sweet bodements, good! Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me if your art can tell so much. Shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Okay, up to here. Let us go back to the beginning, to the explanation of this third apparition. Second. So this is the third apparition. Yes, the third apparition is a child that is holding a tree in his hand. Yes. And let us see what the witches say. Yes. Well, in line 85, Macbeth describes the apparition. He says, what is this that rises like the issue of a king? So the child is wearing a crown. Yes. So what is this that looks like the king, like a baby who has a crown? Yes, and wears upon his baby round brow the round. The round is the crown. And all the witches again say, listen, but speak to it no. And this is the prophecy. Be lion melted, proud and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. So be courageous and don't be afraid of people who conspired or people who want, of people who are complaining about your government. Macbeth shall never be vanquished, but Macbeth shall never be defeated until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against. So the warning is be careless. Don't worry about what other people say. Because you will not be defeated until the Birnam Wood, yes, the Birnam Wood was a wood that was close to the castle where Macbeth lived, yes, until the Birnam Wood starts moving towards the Dunsinane Castle. Okay, so the idea, imagine what is Macbeth's reaction. That will never happen because it is impossible for the woods to move. Yes, so his idea is that this will not happen, never. Okay. So there is one more apparition because the witches want to leave, but he says, please tell me what is going to happen with Banquo. Yes, so let us listen to the fourth apparition. Let me stop sharing the screen. Where? Here we are. We continue listening a bit more.
Seek to know no more!
I will be satisfied!
This is, in case you got lost, this is line 103. I will be satisfied. Deny me this.
Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo down. Thy crown does steer mine eyeballs and thy hair. Thou other gold-bound brow is like the first. A third is like the former filthy hags. Why do you show me this? A fourth, start eyes. What will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet. A seventh, I'll see no more. And yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more. Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-bolted Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this so? Where are they?
Okay, up to here. Let us go back to, so that I can explain this fourth apparition. Okay, the fourth apparition, yes, it presents, from the cauldron appears a show of 8 kings, one after the other, and many of them look similar to Banquo. Yes, which was the former prophecy that the witches gave to Banquo. Yes. Notice that, for example, in line 111, Macbeth says, "Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo, down." So you are very similar to the spirit of Banquo, so disappear, go down again into the cauldron. And the idea is that this presents the descendants of Banquo and how all his descendants are going to be in the future the kings of England. Yes. So one king after the other start coming out of the cauldron, and they walk one after the other, and they all look similar because they are all related to Banquo. Yes. And in a way, this apparition was a way of flattering King James. Yes, remember King James of England, because he was a descendant of Banquo. Okay. Line 124, "I, sir, all this is so, but why stands Macbeth thus amazedly?" So why is it that you are amazed by this if you knew it from the very beginning? Yes. And then the witches leave with a greeting. Line 130, well, 129, it says, "While you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay." So here, the idea is that they are saying goodbye to Macbeth, but in a way, if this, not in a way, but if this, when this was performed, they would actually greet the king that could be, or most probably was, on the among the audience at that time. Yes, he would definitely go to the theater, or maybe the performance was performed privately for him. So when they would perform these quotes, these lines, they would look at the king and they would say that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay. Yes. So the witches disappear, they leave, and Macbeth is amazed at everything that he has just heard. Yes. So we are going to watch this scene, the complete scene that we haven't watched the apparitions, and then we will continue. There are no words. No one says anything in this fourth apparition. Macbeth only sees the succession of kings coming out of the cauldron. Okay? So let me share a screen with you. Let me find the right spot.
throne.
Say?
Okay, one more. Here we go.
Mute. Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harp your cries, 'tis time. 'Tis time.
We are watching Act 4, Scene 1 from the very beginning, okay?
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails thrown. Toad, that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm sting, lizard's leg and howlet swing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the ravent salt-sea shark, root of hemlock, digged in the dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat, and slips of you, slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips. Strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab, add thereto a tiger's chaudron for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. The baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags, what is't you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, however you come to know it, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak, demand, we'll answer. Say if thou'dst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him, let me see him.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 furrow. Grease that sweating from the murderer's gibbet, throw into the flame. say thou naught. Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware, Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whatever art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more.
You will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. Rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty.
Listen, but speak not to it. Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Burnhamwood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root. Sweet bodements, good. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me if your art can tell so much. Shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo down. Thy crown does steer mine eyeballs and thy hair. Thou other gold-bound brow is like the first. A third is like the former filthy hags. Why do you show me this? A fourth, start eyes. What will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet. A seventh, I'll see no more. And yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more. Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-bolted Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this so? Where are they?
Okay, up to here. So before we move on, I want to highlight a few quotes that maybe I didn't before, but when Macbeth says, "I will be satisfied," remember that Macbeth's tragic flaw is ambition. So it is interesting that he says, "One more apparition and I will be satisfied." We know that Macbeth will never be satisfied. Yes. And this idea, when he hears the prophecy connected with the woods, and he says, "That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Who can make the forest move?" So the objective of the witches has been accomplished. He is confident that no one can kill him. Yes, and this is exactly what the witches wanted. And the resolution at the end of this Act 4, Scene 1, is that he commands someone to go and kill Macduff and his family. Yes, we are going to skip this scene, but the scene that follows is Lady Macduff with his son, and Macduff is not there at the moment, so when the killers arrive, they only kill Macduff, Lady Macduff, sorry, and her son. Yes, because Macduff is currently in England, and he's talking to Malcolm. Yes, that's the scene that follows. Yes, so Act 4, Scene 2, Lady Macduff is killed. Yes, Act 4, Scene 3. Malcolm has a conversation with Macduff, a very long conversation in which Macduff finally convinces him to return to England, to return from England to Scotland to fight against Macbeth because he is the right heir to the throne. Yes, he is the one that should be the king. Yes, this is Act 4, Scene 3, and Macduff, by the end of this scene, finds out that Macbeth killed his family. So this is the end of Act 4.